Hi there, welcome to the Conversation Papers during this international break in which the managerial merry-go-round remains in full swing. Joining us to pick through the runners and riders are friends of the show, Bothroyd and Troy Townsend. Now, Aston Villa, they've got a new manager, and Steven Gerrard will take his new club back to his old club, Liverpool, on Saturday, December the 11th. Troy Townsend, what will Gerrard bring to Villa Park?
He's a young manager, up-and-coming manager. Has done well at Rangers. This is the ultimate test, though. I mean, everyone's saying this is the kind of preview before he, gets the Liverpool job. I don't think he can focus on that. He absolutely has to focus on getting a really talented Villa side to perform. And performing is not what they've done, really, considering the money that has been spent in that team, the forward partnerships that they have. So it's a big test for Gerrard, but one that I think he'll embrace. And I think he'll do all right there. I think he'll do all right.
Jay, what's it like when former players of the calibre of Gerrard take over at big clubs? What's the mood like in the dressing room?
I think someone like Steven Gerrard, I think everyone's going to be buzzing. I think everyone can, take, advice from him. Like Troy said, he's played at the highest level. He's achieved, so much in the game. But I think, what he done at Rangers is, I think, a preview of what we're going to see at Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa have very good players. They have a lot of good attacking players. Then they got some, good midfielders. They had a great season last year, but for some reason or another, they just haven't performed this year. But I think Steven Gerrard going in there will give a freshness, will make all the players hungry again. I don't think that players can rest on their laurels. I think they do have a strike problem, actually. I don't think Watkins and Ings can play together effectively. So I think that's going to have to be sorted out. But, he's going to go in there. The players are going to respect him straight away. And, I'm sure he'll do a good job there.
Troy, are you surprised he quit Rangers for Villa?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do think that... particularly when you're an English manager in the Scottish League, the ultimate vision, the ultimate goal is to manage in the Premier League. He cut his teeth at Rangers. I personally think quite fortunately, to be honest, to go from Liverpool under 18s to a massive club like Glasgow Rangers, but he proved his worth. But absolutely, I think any manager of that kind of ilk will see a Rangers, and this won't go down too well, but as Brendan Rodgers did, but even though he had a longer period of time, would see them as a stepping stone to bigger things. If you're going to be judged, you're really going to be judged in the Premier League, aren't you? And I think Gerrard was waiting for the right opportunity, and we'll see this as a really good opportunity to really put himself into the managerial kind of circles that he needs to be respected.
Okay, so very quickly,
I think he's gone in there, Troy, and I think he's got better resources than probably any other Premier League job that could potentially come available. He's got a great stadium, great fan base. He's got really good players, international players. He's got, money if he needs it.
Yeah.
They're willing to spend. They've shown that. Like you said, whether you like it or not, those kind of managers that do go to, Celtic or Rangers, it is a stepping stone for them because they want to come back to the Premier League and pay in the Brit, just like players. They want to manage in the best league in the world.
It's a Premier League with lots of fresh ideas, isn't it? Lots of good young managerial matchups. Are you more excited by what you're seeing, Jay? The
game evolves, players evolve, and I'm glad I'm finally start to see managers evolve, because this is just my opinion, but I'm tired of seeing managers that have managed like 6-7 clubs that, let's bring him in, see what he can do kind of thing. And, I don't want to see that. I want to see fresh ideas. I like what they do in Germany. Young coaches get promoted from the under 23s or whatever and then move into the first team, or, they got a fresh feeling about their league. And, I like what we're seeing now. It's good that Gerrard's gone in, Eddie Howe's gone in. He's a young manager. Graham Potter's fairly young. He's doing well.
Well, let me just bring you in, Troy, because I think as far as you're concerned, your son plays under one of the more experienced ones in Benitez, but he's left a club where Vieira has come in. And I don't really know why anybody had any doubts about him, but he's done superbly well to kick off.
Maybe because he's black.
No,
Yeah,
we're
but
laughing, but that's true.
yeah, but I was going to say, no one's got a divine right to do well. You know, you have to do your due diligence. You have to do your homework. You have to cut your teeth in other kind of clubs and experience other kind of technical environments as well. And I think, well, you know, Vieira's had a really, really good start. There's a freshness to his approach. The players obviously believe in what he's telling them, which is most of the battle, to be totally honest. And he's got good technical staff around him. So, but no one has a divine right to do well in this league, and you can do well for a short period and then you can crumble just as quickly. So it'll be interesting to see how he continues. He's made an excellent start, playing some really difficult games and proving with the style of play that he's introduced at Palace that that he's here for the long haul. And, you know, it's another one. People are saying he's ripened himself for the Arsenal job or the Man City job. Well, at the moment, what I think he'll do is say that I'm here at Crystal Palace and I'm trying to make Palace a more competitive team and get them challenging for, you know, Europe. Who knows? You know, the way they're going, Europe is a possibility at the moment.
We're just looking at the changes in the dugout that there have been over the past couple of seasons and obviously this season already. Do you feel that the changes so far have made this Premier League the toughest we have ever seen?
You can't judge that at the moment, Darren, because like I said, Eddie Howe has just got trying to get his feet under the table at Newcastle. Gerrard will start, you know, this weekend. Dean Smith will now transfer over to Norwich. There's, like I just said just now, there's no divine right for these managers to hit the ground running. The reason they're in positions is because their clubs were failing. And that includes obviously Conte at Spurs as well. The clubs were not doing as the board expected them to do. So there's a whole piece here around galvanizing the group of players, galvanizing fan bases, you know, getting them back on side. And that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. And the Premier League is unforgiving. You know, if you don't start well, if you don't, you know, hit the ground running, that could maintain for 6-7 games. Then all of a sudden, the new managers are under pressure as well, just like the managers that they took over from. So at the moment, I think there's a feeling in boardrooms that, you know, we cannot afford to be languishing down the bottom, but someone has to. And at the moment, you've got the likes of Newcastle, Norwich and Villa all down there. So there's a big repair process for all those managers at the moment.
I think those managers that have come in, though, I think Aston Villa got resources. Newcastle definitely got resources. I think the only one that is going to have a big task on their hands will be Dean Smith at Norwich, because they ain't got no money to spend to buy players. So he's kind of going to have to, you know, try and work with what he's got to try and keep them in the Premier League. Where I think that other teams, you know, they're going to spend big in the transfer market, especially Newcastle. I think Tottenham will as well, to be perfectly honest. I think Conte will have that in his contract. So I'm looking for, you know, as much as we do look at the start of the season, and that is important, I'm focusing on the back end of the season because, you know, as we know, that's the business end of the season. And that's where you see the teams that are really mean business and the ones that, you know, fade away.
Thank you for watching. We are back on Friday looking ahead to all of the weekend's Premier League fixtures, some really good ones in there too, including Watford hosting Manchester United and Liverpool up against Arsenal. Until then, see you soon.